gods, what happened to this place?
Orderly shade. There's shades here. It all began with a stone. Prish is almost definitely, probably certain you are standing in Juno. What were your names again? Zordia Do. And this is Bakul Jaja. Zordia and Bakul Jaja, right? I don't know where you're from, but I can tell I'd love to visit. Can't say I've ever seen anyone quite like you before.
If you're done with the small talk, would you mind explaining why you attacked us?
Prish is cute now? Why, was she not cute before? She was cute in Opera Omnia. What in the world are you talking about?
Don't play the fool with us. You were spouting nonsense about us being Taurus and nearly killed a man on your rampage.
Well, I do recall fighting Taurus not long ago to protect Olmia.
Olmia? A friend of hers, you say? That's all well and good, but she was addressing Galul Jaja's shade with that name. The incantations needed to summon it are said to be based on a much older magic, one capable of clouding people's minds. If our enemy is skilled enough to summon Galul Jaja, it stands to reason such tricks are not beyond them.
Meaning young Prish here was likely tricked into believing the shade was this Olmia person.
So it was all an illusion then. It's starting to come back to me. There was someone who warned me that a dear friend needed my protection. He was blue like your left head, and he gave me these bizarre weapons.
Blue like me?
I usually fight with my fists, but didn't think twice to accept what they gave me. I suppose there are magics to blame. In any case, I hope the real Olmia hasn't been dragged into all of this.
Can you tell us anything about the one you thought was your Olmia? Where they might be hiding, perhaps?
Would that I could, but when I got here, I was all by my lonesome.
Here being where, exactly?
Juno. At least, I think this is Juno. There was never anything like that here before. It's mostly empty, but there are a few people lingering about, if you know where to look. Maybe they can tell us something.
Go with Prish, and see what you can learn of this place, and the whereabouts of that shade. We will remain here and keep watch on this on this rift.
Almost said raft.
I sense something afoul on the winds here. The sooner we leave this place, the better.
Right then, let's have a look around. Oh, and we should probably stop by the Tenshodo as well. It's in the back of Neptune's Spire, across the way from the fountain. Prish be accompanying me. I've only visited Juno a handful of times, when I needed a place to lay low, and maybe to lick my wounds once or twice. I've always enjoyed my time here, though, and quite a few interesting people along the way.
Oh, good. I was hoping to run into you two.
You know us?
I don't want to be overly forward, but why were you speaking with that Mamulja earlier? More importantly, what was it doing here? They would never dare venture beyond the shores of Araja unless, my gods, as Galul Jaja laid siege to Ot Urgan. Is Juno next to fall?
Oh, they bad guys, so Galul Jaja was a bad guy? In 11? I don't know anything about sieges or invasions, but that Mamulja over there is a friend of mine. There ain't nothing for you to worry about. Their race were bad, all beastmen were. Oh, but there was no one named, Galul Jaja. The Shadow Lord manipulated all beastmen to be bad. Poor man's probably more confused than we are about all this. Garu Jaja was there in 11. Got it, okay. So that's just something in this game. She's super cute. Look how small she is. She's smaller than me. Auction house? Any questions? In the past, great wealth. Discuss the shuttered windows. Adventurers gather from all corners of the world to buy and sell their spoils here. The taxes are a pain, but it's worth it for the wide selection. Just between you and me, though, I've heard you can cut a good deal with merchants peddling their wares just outside of town. But why is it closed? The auction house never closes. Maybe they're waiting for things to return back to normal around here. Whenever they reopen, I suggest you stop by. Who knows, you may get lucky and find something way below market price. Are they saying that 11 is another reflection, maybe? That's exactly what players did. They sat in front of the auction house selling their own wares. Wait, really? So a lot of this is just describing what players did. Even the memos in the actual raid were just things that players did.
You're new to Juneau, are you? I can tell by the way you were talking and taking in the sights. The city was built upon Heaven's Bridge, connecting the two great continents of Kuon and Mindartia. You'll find there's an upper and lower level, a port, the administrative plaza, and Brulud's gardens. At least you would have before. All ways in and out of Lower Juneau appear to be blocked or cut off.
The situation here is worse than I thought. Honestly, I kinda wanna G-pose with Prish. Diminutive shade. I Cholulu divining 5 card other wathers. That probably means something. Party looking dark samurai dragoon. Look, he's looking for a party, guys. Oh wait, Hugh says something? Meal 1K can I have? Maya? Or is that meal? Mia? What's Maya? Alas, my love, so shy. Monstaris, recorded Dale. He's asking for a teleport for 1,000 gil. That's hilarious. Thrifty Shade. Neptune Spire. Applicants invite our branch. Please will issue membership. Are these guilds? You press against the wall, but it refuses to budge. Won't open? Then I guess we won't be meeting Aldo. Who's Aldo? He's head of Tenshodo. When the world's in danger, he's always there to lend me a hand. Reminds me of my friends, the Scions. Shame I can't meet him. I'm sure the two of you would have gotten along famously. Unfortunately, we're on our own here. What? Why is this blocked off? There's supposed to be stairs here leading up to the residential area. I swear, things get stranger here by the minute. Mithrin Adventure, is this a samurai? Can't say I've seen your sort around here before. Where are you from, stranger? Gridania? Can't say I've heard of it. Most folks passing through hail from Sandoria, Bastock, or Windurst. Considering the present state of Juneau, though, seems strange is becoming a common occurrence. I'd be lying if I said I'd heard of your homeland either. But that's not important right now. At times like this, we need to know who can be trusted. Whatever's happening here, these people are just as bewildered as we are. We should go back and find Bakul Jaja, see if he's noticed anything. Kuro, Magnificentaru, all revealed Magnificentaru. Bastock is Ulda, Windurst is Redania, and Sandoria is the elf place in Heavensward. Oh, Ishgard. Welcome, Adulin Help, Magic Map Adventures. Welcome, Chamber of Commerce. We assist job labor.
Returned at last with answers, I hope.
So we're truly in this Juneau, as she says.
But I've traveled all over Tyrol and never heard of this Juneau, or Sandoria, or any of those other places.
What in Altana's name is Tyrol? I thought all you Mamulja are from Aragia.
Prish, you're all right. And she has you to thank, I'm sure.
Thanks for carrying, I guess. And who are you exactly? Thought he was a friend of yours. He's the one who asked me to go and look for you. I appreciate the concern, but I've never seen him before in my life. Damn. Rejected.
How can you say such a thing?
I mean, you do look like the sort I might know, but I'm drawing a blank. What was the name, Mr.?
My name is... You must be the one they found wounded in the Skydeep cenote. Well, we have to call you something.
Was this armor hard to get?
How about Alxal?
Vagabond in the Mamulja tongue. Though it may be closer to adventurer in Zordia's Eorzean. Nicely chosen, brother.
That does have a rather nice ring to it, Axal it is. So where are we exactly?
Juneau, or at least a close approximation. Surely you remember this place, don't you?
It does feel familiar. What's so special about this place anyway? And where did that damned shade get off to? Bah! None of this makes any sense.
My, what a vexing predicament. What did I say? He's alive! I said he was alive! Hey! That's the one that put me under a spell, I'm sure of it!
So the Bunewa sycophant yet lives. What are you doing here?
As you have found me in a generous mood, I thought I might enlighten you as to the nature of this place. That's why you've come, isn't it? The young lady is correct. This is the Grand Duchy of Juno.
So we really are in Juno, and yet something about it feels so off.
I never said this was the real one. It is an imitation, a rather convincing one, I might add, which I created based on visions of another world. You built this? That I did, while you and yours were holding the dance over its coronation. Zeralja and I ventured to the gate of the Golden City. Everything was proceeding as planned. The gate's key was in our possession, the power to reshape the world within our grasp. Or so I thought. In the eyes of the resilient sun, I was but a useless tool to be cast aside. By all rights, I should have died when he struck me down. Once the chamber was empty, the gate still open. I saw my chance. What I found when I dragged myself across the threshold was an emptiness, a space beyond time. It was there in this dark expanse I beheld another world.
A different world?
That world was called Vanadil.
So a completely different one, where Alexandria is, unless they put it on the same world.
What a load of rubbish! As if anyone would believe that everything and everyone here is a little more than one of your toys.
What? Damn, he just a block. He turned to stone!
As I said, everything you see here is my creation. Much like we fashioned a phantom of Galul Jaja for the feet of the Brotherhood. I was able to use our ceremonial tools to breathe life into my visions of Vanadil.
That's why it's all broken.
Under normal circumstances, my conjurings only have strength enough for a brief clash. With that stone, however, my magics are capable of so much more.
He took a piece of the stone?
Isn't that what Zeralja used to build his army? Electrope, he called it.
Electrope, you say? If you know its name, then I trust you also know these stones are possessed of immense power. Power enough for my creations to persist for as long as I please.
So this is your imagination.
Fortunate, then, that world between worlds was filled with structures made from electrope. More than I could have ever hoped for.
Wait! If everything we see here, everything we believe was from Vanadil, is of your making, then am I... Damn.
Gods, that would mean I am as well.
You? Yes, well, a trivial thread in the tapestry of my grand designs. And what a wondrous weave it will be, made possible by the endless possibilities gleaned in the walk of echoes. The memories buried there, those remnants of echoes, will shape my dreams into reality. I once believed that dream lay in the resilient sun, but that bastard is dead to me. By my hand, Taral will have the greatest ruler the world has ever known! I've made an admirable start, but my work is far from finished. Very soon I will draw upon the echoes once more to summon the greatest beings of Vanadil, and their strength will be made one with this magnificent shade. The reason and resolve which built the nation of Tuliyola, matched with the uncompromising tyranny that commanded the Mamulja of that world.
You'll never get away with this. I'll make sure of it. I won't let you sully the memories of Vanadil. If you won't listen to reason, then maybe you'll listen to my fists. I feel like this middle one is a players of Final Fantasy XI answer. I'ma pretend.
That's the spirit. My preparations will take time, of course. But when I am ready, you can be certain I will call upon you to bear witness to my greatness.
And your downfall.
Zeralja, wait! Prish, just when I thought things couldn't become more complicated, Making sense of Alexandria was trouble enough, but now we have this Vanadil to deal with as well. I can only imagine how Prish and Alxal must be feeling. What do you do when your very existence is called into question? First he serves that tyrant Zeralja, now he would dare usurp the throne for his pale imitation of the Dawn Servant? Sniveling wretch.
That world was called Vanadil. Was. Alzal regards Prish with a pained look in his eyes.
Try as I might, I can recall nothing of my past to refute Cerilja's claims. Prish, on the other hand, seems to know everything of her past, and who she is. Yet to be told the memories of your life are not your own, I can only imagine how she must feel. Now's not the time to be disheartened. At least not here, anyway. I wouldn't trust anything made by Cerilja to be safe for long.
Or to remain functional.
Let's return to Mamuk while we still can. My mother will want to know of what we've seen here.
A Prish coming with.
Now that we're returned, I can see now this isn't the Mamuk I know.
I'm glad to see you and Bakul Jaja returned safely. And you've brought a new guest.
There you are. I thought you would be the one to explain what happened out there in Yaktel.
Not simply from another territory, but another world entirely. That explains much of the initial confusion between us.
My apologies for any trouble I may have caused, and thank you for taking me in. Different worlds, and yet we seem to have so much in common. I cannot help but wonder what it is that links the two together.
What indeed? You mistook us for the Mamulja of your Vanadil when we first met. May I ask what they are like?
Nothing like you and yours, even if they do bear a striking resemblance. There was a time when all the people of Vanadil, the Mamulja included, knew peace. But a tyrant possessed of a terrible power claimed rulership over the Mamulja and turned them against us. Before we realized it, we were at war.
A tale similar to ours in a way. The rare few of us born with two heads grow to be immensely powerful. That power was used to justify our preeminence over all others. But that is not who we are anymore. We can be better than our forebears. We will be better.
All of our hard work will be for nothing if Cerilja succeeds in seizing the throne. Well, you'll not want for aid in stopping them. I promise you that. Oh, keen to lend a hand, are you? I don't need to know who I am to know the right thing to do. My blade is yours. On my honor as an adventurer of Vanadil, we will put an end to Cerilja's schemes.
Is Alxal or Alzal supposed to be like a normal, regular player from Final Fantasy XI? That's why he doesn't have a name? If she were here, I'm sure she'd have done the same. Right then. We can worry about whether or not I'm real another day. I'm not going to stand around and let this Cerilja piss all over the memories of my home. So you can count me in too.
Don't think you can forget about us. This all started in Yaktel, and we have a duty to keep our forests safe.
Cerilja has left us without a trail to follow, but it's only a matter of time before he reveals himself to challenge Zordia once more. If you're to be ready, I think it prudent the two of you learn more of our world.
An excellent idea, brother. We should start with Tuliolal and see to our own preparations while we're there.
If you would meet us at the dirigible landing, we will see Prish and Alzal to Tuliolal.
Oh, music. It's new. Those balloon-powered airships are really something. I didn't expect the flight to be so smooth. So this is Tuliolal. Before I forget, I couldn't help but notice how much you seem to know about me. Is there anything else you remember?
I'm afraid I don't. As you don't recognize me either, perhaps we weren't acquaintances after all. What I know of you is likely overheard in a tavern somewhere. Patrons sharing stories of your famed exploits.
I see. Well, I'll leave it at that then.
Now, where to begin?
Unless this guy is actually from here.
Brother, would it not be wise to first surprise the Landsguard of what's happened? Or would you prefer another stern lecture from the Vow of Reason?
I'd sooner rip off our tail. Fine. Could you keep them occupied while we see to the Landsguard? Maybe take them to eat or something. Ah, I know. Take them to Auntie's to sample her tacos. Here. For that first meal of yours we swore.
Yo! Paying back our tacos? I didn't think they were gonna bring this back.
Just so we're clear, we're not expecting to earn your forgiveness. No amount of good deeds will ever undo our past. But there's always time to build a better future. When you get there, tell her we sent you. She'll see that you're taken care of. I hope she might remember me. She doesn't even seem to know me. Gods, who am I?
Auntie's tacos, eh? Let me guess, they serve tacos? Oh, I can hardly wait! I eat tacos all the time back home. Though I suppose it wouldn't hurt to take a more scenic route. Maybe something along the way will help jog Alzal's memory. What in Altana's name is that? Do people actually ride those things? Chocobos are the only beasts I've ever seen used for riding in Vanadil. If they have any, I'd sure like to see them.
Those creatures remind me of the chocobos in Vanadil. To say we adventurers found them indispensable would be no exaggeration. From shore to shore, they were our faithful companions, wheresoever the roads might lead us.
The diversity of the people here is unlike anything I've seen in Vanadil. I can't tell you what a relief it is to know everyone here can get along.
Walking the streets of an unfamiliar city feels like I'm back on another adventure.
My home is surrounded by ocean too, you know. It has the most beautiful views on a clear day. Not without the occasional monster, though. It's nice to be able to walk around like this without your guard up all the time.
I cannot say why, but I've remembered something looking out at the sand dunes. There was a man out on the dock who claimed he could teach me new battle arts, but he would only agree on the condition that I retrieve for him a damselfly worm, an apron, and a magic skull. I don't suppose you've met anyone on your travels who made such queer requests.
I'm sure this is an actual quest in 11, yeah?
I happened to spy a few goblins on the way to the market. I remember them living in major cities of Vanadil as well. Of course, there was no shortage of the unscrupulous sort living in the wilds as well. They would gather in droves and give chase to adventurers, forcing anyone and everyone to retreat back to the safety of town.
So, these are the markets of Chiliolo. There are so many stands, I wouldn't know where to begin. It's enough to make my head spin. Some fruit would sure hit the spot right now. But no, Prish. Remember, you're about to eat tacos. This is the place, right? I can smell the savory meats already. You must be Aunt T. Bakul Jaja recommended we sample your tacos. So, we'll have 3 of your finest, please.
Bakul Jaja sent you, did he? Take a seat, and I'll be right over with a tray of our world-famous fare.
I want tacos now. Maybe I should have had tacos for dinner instead of Chinese food. Oh, that's pretty. Oh my gosh, that's cute! Tacos at long last! Oh, how I've waited for this moment! Cute! I thought nothing could match the rich flavor of our tacos back home. But the spicy seasoning of this meat is really something else. I didn't know her hair had like waves like that. Eat as many as you'd like. This meal's on Bakul Jaja, so don't hold back. Cute.
Rish has taken the lead, but we won't be outdone, surely.
Phew, I couldn't eat another bite. Thanks for training us. It was almost like a taste of home. Tavnasia, seeing as we still have a little extra time to ourselves, care to hear more about Vanadil? Sure. Ah, 20 years ago, the land was gripped by a terrible conflict. The Crystal War, they called it. And it wasn't long before my home, Tavnasia, was drawn into the struggle. During their assault on the peninsula, the beastmen launched a weapon so powerful, it sundered the land, connecting us to the mainland. Those who survived fled to Tavnazian safehold. It wasn't much, but we were able to piece together a modest living down in those caves. Sorry, I'm spoiling the mood, aren't I? You're an adventurer too, aren't you? Have any tales of daring you can share with us?
We have a lot of stories. Which one do you want to know? This is cute.
Traveling to other worlds and saving this one from the very embodiment of despair. Wait, really? You're not just an adventurer, you're a goddamn living legend!
A hero. A living legend. Sorry for the wait.
There is much to apprise the Landsguard of, as you well know. That Cirilja was behind the stolen relics and the sightings of Galul Jaja was understandably difficult for them to hear.
And yet, there are others enticed by the rumors of a strange portal in the woods. I've heard some foolhardy treasure seekers have even gone off looking for it. Dangerous thought, knowing Cirilja could show up at any time with more of those echoes. Which is why I'm going back to Juno to make sure our people stay out of there.
If you're going, then so are we. It beats sitting around waiting.
I'm fairly sure I've had Tavnazian tacos before. They were famous for their hardiness and helped stave off fatigue, perfect for those who often found themselves on the defensive in battle.
I wonder if this guy is actually from Vanadil and ended up on the source. And it's actually his memories that Cirilja's taking from without knowing it.
Maybe we should bring Wuklamat and that other friend of yours. Kryl, was it?
Gods, those tacos were bloody brilliant. There's nothing better than good food and good company to pass the time.
Okay, Juno. Bakul Jaja is ready to return to Juno.
Would that we had time to show you more of Tuliolal, but we can't afford to have anyone wandering about in Juno. Then let us make haste to Yaktel.
It's hard to blame anyone for wanting to take a peek inside. I know I certainly would.
The sooner we clear this place out, the better. I can only speak for myself, but the idea of running headlong through a mysterious rift to God knows where, to God's nowhere, in search of treasure seems absurd. Tural has no shortage of legends like the City of Gold to inspire would-be treasure seekers. No risk is too great if they believe their dreams can be realized.
Efforts better spent on a more honest living, I'd say.
Yeah! Walking the noble path like you, brother. In any case, whoever we find in there, we have to get them out. Quickly. I realize how preposterous it seems, but none of this is real. Mamulja by the name of Cirilja created this place.
Oh, they're actually treasure hunters here.
When I jumped through the rift, I was expecting a dungeon or maybe a labyrinth, not whatever all this is. It's dangerous and I need to leave? Don't make me laugh. Not long ago I heard someone crowing in the streets about some rare stone they found. Something like that could be worth a fortune. I'm not going anywhere if there's riches just lying around for the taking.
Oh no, they're finding the electrope?
Never seen a city like this in Tural before. Dangerous, you say? Perhaps I should hold off on surveying further then. What a shame, I happened upon a rather curious stone. I hoped to take it with me, but it was stolen by some Tanawautan brute. Without knowing the value of that stone, I can't say it's worth giving chase. But he ran off to the south if you mean to go after them. Be leaving now. If it's truly as dangerous as you say, I hope you'll be leaving soon as well. You came looking for some fancy trinkets too? Well, feast your eyes on this.
You stole that from someone.
We spoke with anyone who would listen, though a few were too stubborn to heed our warnings. A block of raw electrope, but how? I take it you're the one that found this? I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave with that stone. It's too dangerous. You expect me to just hand it over? Bah, this isn't Tuliolal. You have no authority here. I found it and I'm keeping it. This is for your own good. Put the stone down and walk away, or else.
Careful, brother. Lay a hand on him, and the vow of resolve will never let us hear the end of it.
We're already in our debt as it is. Fine, you've come to make your fortune, yes? Let me pay you for it.
That would certainly save me the trouble of finding a suitable buyer, but don't expect me to let it go for cheap.
I couldn't help but overhear you're selling an artifact found in these ruins.
Whatever this gentleman's willing to pay, I assure I can pay more.
Great, just what we needed. What do you suppose we do now?
Explain the circumstances surrounding this place would likely take more time than we can afford.
Or are they gonna open the...
Ah, of course. Why not hold an auction for the stone?
An auction? That would certainly simplify matters.
It would save you the trouble of bargaining with all interested parties separately and incentivize them to pay you handsomely, lest they be outbid.
Fine by me, but I'll only be accepting payment in gil. This money will be taking me overseas where I can finally live the life I've always wanted.
Where?
Let's hold the auction already and get this over with.
I'm guessing Alzal was inspired by the nearby auction house. Still, that was quick thinking.
An auction should hopefully make things easier for Bakul Jaja, assuming he can outbid his competition, of course.
I'll offer up every kill to my name. If I have to, that stone will be mine.
Oh my god, these collectors.
My work has been turning a tidy profit these days, so I've coin to spare. If I may have your opening bids. Can you handle the bidding? We don't have much experience with auctions, but we do have coin you can use, around 1 million gil saved up from our work with the Landsguard. Hopefully that will be enough.
Damn, I wish I had money to join in. Seems like fun.
Well, it's imperative that we cover the electrope. It wouldn't do to show your hand too early. That should be conservative with your bids, staying just ahead of the competition. We have 1 million gil, all told. But I'm trusting you won't need to spend all of it.
I've no time for the back and forth of this bargaining nonsense. All I need is one bid to win that stone.
Foreign merchants relieved me of my stock a few moons past, and it's a good thing they did. 1,500,000 gil, and I was forced to spend half of it in preparation for this expedition.
Okay, so he's under 1 million.
So, what's your offer? Right then, how much will you start with?
Why do we start? 100,000 gil.
Is that all? Then I'll start with 400,000 gil. 400,000? I was hoping to keep at least half my savings, but if we have to bid more...
500,000 gil.
A bold move, but I'm willing to bet that's all you have. 560,000 gil.
Half my savings gone. Surely they're close to conceding, right?
600,000 gil.
600,000? How is anyone meant to compete with that?
One out of the running? Good. Then I'll bid 700,000. Only one left now. But I don't think he'll give up without a fight.
710,000 gil.
Shit! Well, I've come too far to back down now. 720,000 gil. Raising their bid by such a narrow margin, someone's reaching their limit.
730,000 gil.
Finally, it's over. You have a knack for business dealing, Zordia. Maybe you were a merchant in another life.
I wish.
This looks to be all of it. The stone is yours. That was more expensive than I would have liked, but nothing a few hunt bills can't make up for. I hope.
As fun as that looked, I'm sure I would have made a mess of things if that were me. I tend to get a little carried away under pressure.
Well done, friend. Now let's have a look at that electrope. Gah! This presence. It feels familiar. The Shadow Lord. There's no mistaking that deep and bitter malice. This stone must have served as the heart of the Shadow Lord's echo. He was a being of pure hatred, responsible for bringing about the Crystal War. I was a part of the company that would eventually bring his reign of terror to an end.
You helped defeat the Shadow Lord? Meaning, Alzal must have been there with her. But I don't remember ever hearing about that.
In any case, I will hold on to the electrope. We should hurry back and speak with the Landsguard. Excuse me, but were you speaking of the Shadow Lord just now? If there's more you wish to know, perhaps I can be of help. I've heard a great many tales of the fiends from the bards who frequent the taverns here in Juneau. I've been waiting over yonder, near the fountain, for my companions to arrive, but you're welcome to speak with me until they do. A most welcome offer. There is much to be said for a first-hand encounter with the echo in question.
Perhaps we can visit these tales another time, after we've made certain no more treasure hunters can readily gain entry.
Let's return to Turliolal and speak with the Landsguard, so they'll come and meet us at Bright Plume Post.
We going back to Tuliolo? Oh, this tells me about, I guess, everything, yeah? Me? I'm no adventurer of any particular renown, and that's what you were expecting. Just a man come from Bastok, looking to see more of the world. While I lack in fame, I make up for it with the strength of numbers. I've no shortage of friends, willing to accompany me in pursuit of riches should I reach out via Link Pearl. The armor I wear is proof of our accomplishments, salvaged from the depths of Alzadal's undersea ruins. That said, I treasure my time with them more than any trinket or bauble we've unearthed on our travels together. You understand, surely? Fafnir. Oh, we're getting a cutscene?
The great dragon that slumbers in the depths of the Boyada tree? Yes, I know of it, as does anyone who would dare venture into Zita. Stories of a great hero who did battle with a dragon. Their harrowing encountering concluded with a strike at its heart, with a fabled blade, Redil, if only they hadn't missed their mark. The blade is said to remain nested in the beast's bosom, even to this day. To survive such a blow and live for all these years bespeaks a strength I struggle to imagine. And yet the tales of its might have not deterred the brave and foolhardy from venturing in the tree. Hopeful they can slay Fafnir and claim its spoils. Few have reached the dragon's eyrie and lived to tell the tale.
Tell me about the archangels.
I've heard stories of the 5 warriors clad in black. If the fates are kind, I will never have the poor fortune to cross paths with them. They were not born, but forged from crystal. Oh, assuming the legends are true. The dawn goddess, Altana, wept 5 tears that gave birth to the 5 races. Hume, Alvan, Tarutaru, Mithra, and Galka. The archangels are said to be the embodiment of their sins. Apathy, arrogance, cowardice, envy, rage, the darkness that lurks within us all. No one is certain why they were created. The prevailing theory is they served as guardians of some ancient paradise.
The Shadow Lord.
The great darkness of the Northlands, hatred made manifest. There's not a soul in all of Vanadil who doesn't know of the Shadow Lord. His sole desire was to bring about the extinction of Altana's children, so he rallied together the Beastmen, inciting what came to be known as the Crystal War. The Beastmen's assault was merciless, and it was not long before Bastok, the Sandaoria, and Windhurst were brought to their knees. It was only after Archduke Kamlanat convinced them to join forces with the Grand Duchy of Juneau that they gained the momentum needed to push back. United as the Alliance of Altana, they would eventually drive the Beastmen back from their lands, and soon found themselves going on the offensive in Zarkabard. The Alliance proved victorious in the end, but not without a great many sacrifices. Peace had been restored to Vanadil, for a time at least. The Shadow Lord was somehow resurrected 20 years later. Thankfully, he was slain before the Beastmen could be emboldened to take arms a second time. There is much speculation as to his origins. Most believe he was once a Galka, if you believe it. He was betrayed by one of his companions, mortally wounded and left to die. A dear friend of his was also said to have been cut down in the altercation. He succumbed to his wounds, but his rage and despair would remain, giving life to the Shadow Lord. If what you say is true and he has returned once more, perhaps the flames of his hatred can never truly be extinguished. I was hoping a few of the Landsguard would be here already. The Landsguard all appear to be well trained and well armed. I dare say they would be a match even for our soldiers back home.
Once again, we're left with nothing but time on our hands, until Surreal just shows himself. I suppose there's no shortage of work to be done if we ask the Landsguard.
You may be better served exploring Terral, familiarizing yourself with the land. It wouldn't do to find yourself lost when you're needed most.
An honest-to-God's adventure! What a great idea! You're coming with me, Alzal, and don't you dare say you're not interested. Any self-respecting adventurer would jump at a chance like this.
I'll not deny the suggestion piques my interest. We warn you now, though, the wilds of Terral are rife with danger. It is no place for the unprepared.
I welcome the challenge! I can hardly count the number of times Vanadil has been visited by some world-ending calamity. But no matter how dire things may have seemed, we always found a way through. Together. This'll be no different, I'm sure of it. There's nothing we can't do so long as we have each other.
The power of friendship. A band of adventurers barely met, united in the face of great peril, just like old times. Our adventure is always so sentimental.
Is that so terrible a thing?
Huh. Ah, here he is. The moment we learn anything about Cyrilja's movements, I've asked him to contact you. Christmas music. It is frustrating. Meanwhile in Garlemald. Meanwhile in the Echo of Tulia.
Soon we will slaughter them all. Is that not so, Cyrilja?
This is like a different Galulja. What the heck?
Soon, my Dawn servant, very soon. Then there shall be none to stop you from taking your rightful place on the throne.
That can't be Galulja.
How fortunate for me he lacks the wisdom of the true Dawn servant. But if he will be made fit to rule, I must choose from the echoes carefully. The Shadow Lord showed promise, but Vanadil is a land of rich history. I needn't settle for those who are but a blink of an eye in the annals of history. With the strength of the ancients, I will bring Terral, no, the whole world to its knees.
Bruh. He's so evil. You'd think that being slashed and betrayed would fix him.